Good morning and welcome to another rousing episode of Morning Market Call. I'm your host, Joel Toby, and with me I have David Williams. Welcome.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
All right, David. He's our social media guru of the day. He has lots of experience. I see him on Twitter all the time. And I think you're mayor of something on Foursquare?
I don't think so.
Okay, but he's getting close somewhere, I'm sure. But David, tell me, what has been your experience with social media and its utility in the workforce?
Sure. Well, obviously you have issues with a lot of your labor force, getting on Twitter or Facebook and wasting time, so it can hurt productivity. But there's a lot of value in social media tools that I've seen in the workforce and the organizations and companies that I've worked for. And for example, I mean, you think about the different platforms that they could bring in and use it internally in the different companies. For example, like LinkedIn, you can bring that in, and one of the biggest problems that people face is really knowing who to find to answer their questions. And so if you have like a LinkedIn platform, you can basically have somewhere where someone can go and say, okay, this person has this experience, they have the answers that I'm seeking. Along with that, you have the little status updates, and so you can see what people are working on, so they can have a lot of efficiencies through time savings and cutting back on redundancy, because you can say, well, I don't need to do that because this person's working on it. So you have
so my boss won't keep nagging me. What are you doing? It's like,
exactly.
Check my status.
Exactly. So I mean, there's value in those types of tools, and then also like a Twitter type tool. When a lot of times people say, well, we're not really sure if this has a lot of traction or if people have a lot of interest in, and so there's a lot of different metrics they use. But when you see someone retweeting a document or an article, you know that it has a lot of traction and people are actually interested in it more than just the title of whatever the article or document was. A lot better metric than just a click-through.
Cool. Yeah, I've heard of tools like Jive or other like Facebook-like social integrations for the corporate, and it's interesting to see how the dynamic of that, of building the culture of a company, and how management can help bring that to light. So. Now, take it from a customer's end now. So you as a customer, companies are using social media now as the kind of like the customer relations channel. What experiences do you have as a customer as it relates to that?
Sure. There's a lot of companies that are doing things really well with tracking what's going on in social media, what's being said about their brand, and just one experience. I won't name the company because they made it right, but my wife and we had some issues with the company. We were getting poor customer service over the phone. My wife had her wits end about how to move forward, and basically I went to Twitter, posted our complaints on Twitter, and within 24 hours we had a solution. Because the company had a dedicated force looking at the Twitter feeds, trying to make sure that their brand equity is secured, since a lot of negative comments can be made. And so they made it right, and so I went in and deleted my comments and then put some positive comments about the company through that interaction. So that said, as more and more people start to do that and get away from the customer service via the phone, we could see companies struggling to keep up with it, and might end up being similar to the customer service over their phone. But for now, definitely take advantage of those means. Yeah,
I read an article just recently that social media has become the new complaint channel for corporations.
Right.
That's where all the complaints go. New social media things, Pinterest is getting a lot of traction right now, a lot of interest. My wife loves Pinterest, is on there all the time. But I guess there's news coming up that there's copyright infringement maybe. Tell us a little bit more about that.
That's right. So a news article that I read today was talking about how a lawyer was worried about the copyright infringements, as a lot of photographers are complaining about people pinning their photos on their boards, and so she was concerned that it may be infringing on copyright, so she went in and deleted all of her pins. And so this could be a serious issue for Pinterest. It noted that Pinterest has a disclaimer saying that it's up to the user to make sure that they're not infringing on copyrights. So basically, I talked to a couple of JD MBAs today, and Gabriel Gargano, our resident lawyer in the MBA program, and talked about it, because at first to me I thought, well, isn't this just like putting links on your blog or whatever, because the pins are linking from somewhere and taking the photos, and they kind of told me that there could be some issue in with the copyrights. And so what I would suggest to people using Pinterest is go ahead and at the very least make sure that you're putting in the source of your photo, the picture that you're using, and make some comments that may make it fair use. I'm not sure, but basically, that said, at the same time, I think that the photographers would love to get all this exposure from Pinterest, because I think Pinterest is a great tool for going after a great demographic, mothers who do a lot of the make a lot of the purchasing decisions. So if I were some photographers, I would start taking advantage of Pinterest and having people pin my work to get more exposure that way. Speaking of exposure, I noticed that Ann Romney is taking advantage of Pinterest and putting on different photos of like patriotic-looking dishes, like lemonades and cakes and stuff like that, advance the campaign of Romney. So, I mean, Pinterest is a great tool for businesses and political campaigns, you name it. So it'll be interesting to see how this legal situation unfolds. But
yeah, I think I side on the side where I think it's just going to be good for even the photographers. Hey, they're getting exposure. People are going to see their work and like it and want to get more business. I think that's the side I err on. But if you don't want people to link, then get the technology to lock it down or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways, David, thank you so much for joining us. That wraps up another episode. Don't forget to check us out at morningmarketcall.org.
MMC is brought to you by the Marriott School of Management in association with the Brigham Young University Department of Communications. MMC is made possible by a generous donation from Larry Tasjan and Gary Williams, and is produced by Rhett Weller, Todd Castagna, Mason Chen, Joel Tovey, and Sabrina Beck, with line producing by Kika Latu. For more information, find us on our Facebook and Twitter or at morningmarketcall.org.